Tonight on Quinnipiac Live, healthcare today requires being a part of an integrated healthcare team. We'll show you how Quinnipiac's schools of nursing and health sciences are preparing our students through professional faculty, state-of-the-art facilities, and strong partnerships with area hospitals and healthcare facilities. All that and the ability to join the conversation. Quinnipiac Live starts now. Quinnipiac Live. I'm your host, Joel Vanner, and tonight we have an exciting show planned for you with a variety of guests. Tonight we invite you to join the conversation. Leave your questions in the comment section below to be answered live on air by our variety of guests. And be sure to like this video to be entered into a drawing for a Bobcat prize pack. One lucky winner will be selected at the end of the show. Joining me now is Ali Lucchini, a senior nursing major, Ryan Katita, a senior biomedical sciences and media studies double major, and anatomy and physiology professor Lisa Kaplan. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
So Ryan and Ali, let's get right into it and talk about why you chose Quinnipiac and the School of Health Sciences and the School of Nursing.
So I chose Quinnipiac, the nursing program, probably because of the simulation program. It offers a very unique opportunity compared to other schools. I don't think you understand it until you actually are a student nurse, but basically the simulation program allows you to actually function as a nurse as opposed to a student nurse. So in clinical, you're always the student nurse, you're always the assistant, you're always helping the person who's actually employed by that institution. Whereas in simulation, it's wonderful because you're always functioning as the nurse. You know, the professor is feeding you the information through the mannequins. We have, I think, 100 mannequins. We even have a birthing mannequin, which is very interesting. And you learn in a way that when you do graduate from school, I feel very prepared right now to function as a nurse as opposed to a student nurse. So that's probably my favorite thing about the nursing program.
Ryan, what led you to choose Quinnipiac?
I chose Quinnipiac for the national and regional accreditation that it actually has with a lot of its academic programs. I also chose it because it focuses on family. When I did my Bobcat for a day back when I was a senior in high school, I got to shadow somebody in my program and actually get a feel for the campus, and I really felt like it was a family vibe right away. And having that nice experience coming in, especially because family is such an important thing to me in my personal life, it was nice to have that tie into school and make me want to do better and work harder with anything that I got involved with here. And another thing too is the professors here are absolutely stellar. They work with you all the time. If you go outside of class and need an extra time, they'll meet you on, they'll meet you off campus. So they're just willing to work with you and go above and beyond and really help you.
Professor Kaplan, what is it like to, these are just two of the many students at Quinnipiac who have such positive things to say about the teaching staff that we have here at Quinnipiac. What is it like to be able to interact with the students that you have so closely because we have such small class sizes and a really welcoming family environment?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity for both faculty and for students. The classes are small enough so I know who my students are, and I get to see them on a regular basis and watch them grow and be excited about what they're able to do. And that kind of makes me have my A game. It makes me excited and it keeps my passion levels high for teaching. And for these students to watch them give their best and to know that there's an accountability. They know who I am, I know who they are. We work together to do our level best to get everybody to where they need to be. And I think that that's a really exciting environment to work in, and it's a really exciting environment to learn in.
Getting everybody where they need to be. Ryan, I introduced you as a biomedical sciences and media studies double major. Talk a little bit about that. What is unique about that, and how the Dean of the School of Health Sciences has really advised you in your path to those two majors?
So at the end of my middle of the semester of my freshman year, spring semester, I got really interested in the School of Comm. I was always hiding there studying for all my science tests, and I got to see the student media groups actually at the same time. So I was like, wow, I could actually see myself doing something health sciences and something media based together someday as a future career. And with that, I went into the head of the department for media studies, Dr. Burns, and I said, can I do a double major in biomedical science and media studies? And she said, let's do it. So she's been a stellar advisor since then doing that. And then I was an orientation leader that following summer and met Dean Colhep at the time, didn't know he was the dean. met him just eating a sandwich and having a conversation with him, and then he said, "Oh wow, I want to be a part of your journey and help you work these 2 double majors out." And he took me on under advising, and I said, "What department are you in?" He said, "I'm the dean." So having the head of the department and a dean for both my advisors, it's a different situation, but they're real people too. They actually do care about how well I'm doing here at the university. They're checking in on me throughout the semester. I actually have one of them for class right now, so it's a really cool and interesting retrospect.
I think that really speaks to Quinnipiac as a school as well. I think that another one of my absolute favorite things about Quinnipiac is the professors are so passionate about what they're doing. Dr. Kaplan, the reason why all of her students are so keen on listening to her all the time is because she is so passionate about anatomy and physiology. She's always available to her students. And like she was telling me earlier today, it's not just her that's available to her students. Quinnipiac enables all of the professors to be available. So, I mean, students see the professors all the time, and professors always are welcoming to that.
So don't forget, leave your questions in the comments section below so they can be answered live on air by our guests as we move into a question from Deborah. And Deborah asks, can you talk about clinicals? Where are they available?
Awesome. So Deborah, clinicals are available all over the place. Right now I'm at Bridgeport Surgical ICU, which is a division of Yale. I actually work at Yale New Haven Surgical ICU. Yale is probably one of my favorite clinical institutions because it is a teaching hospital. Middlesex is as well. We have a lot of teaching hospitals around here. So we place really well with our clinical institutions. I've enjoyed every single one of them. I was at Mid-State. I also flew with Lifestar, which is the big helicopter business thing. And I don't have anything bad to say about any of my clinical institutions. They really set you up very well.
Anyone have anything else to add about that?
I think you did a great job,
Yeah.
Allie.
Yeah? So we'll move into classes. Ryan, you are interesting, you're double major, but we'll stick with your School of Health Science courses. How have, Professor Kaplan obviously is here because she's been a strong rock for you, very supportive. What are your classes like at Quinnipiac?
So being a double major, I take a little bit of a heavier course load some semesters, but that's what I want to do because that's what I want to be when I grow up, is something to do between both. But anatomy, right away, I went in 100%, was working really hard. I had a tough semester with that. I had to actually change all my study habits. And Dr. Kaplan met me 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, every single day throughout the week. And then she would stay till 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, be there every second I needed her. I'd get emails from her on the weekend. We'd play email tag. So that was a lot of fun. And she was always there for me, and basically being there as a supportive element. And I ended up doing actually pretty good in the course, having her there as a supportive element.
Allie?
I mean, I don't really have anything to add. Exactly what Ryan said was put pretty well.
So, Professor Kaplan, what is it like being able to, we were just talking before, you hadn't seen Allie in a long time. What is it like to be able to reconnect with your past students because Quinnipiac is such a close community?
I mean, that's one of the best things because I have students from the School of Health Sciences, but I also have students from the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Engineering and Communications, and even the School of Business, who for whatever reason, wherever their trajectory is taking them, they end up taking anatomy and physiology. And the kind of exciting thing is that I get to participate in getting them to where they want to go. So they do it all on their own, but I get to kind of be there as part of that moment. So when I see them again, I mean, I can't stop smiling because they're wonderful human beings that I actually get to know as more than just a number and more than just a grade and more than just a head in a class. And so I know what they want to do, I know what they want to be, and I'm excited for them. It makes my job really exciting for me as a professional. And it's what helps to keep, the passion alive, and you don't get bored with your job, and you get excited about every person that you meet. And I feel very fortunate to have had the students that I've had here. They're wonderful, and it really fills my heart every time I see them. So it's it's a really good thing.
Don't forget, leave your questions in the comments section below. If you are a parent, now is the perfect opportunity to ask questions for your future student. Don't forget, leave those questions in the comments section below. Allie, we're going to go into your involvement in the honors program. Talk a little bit about what the honors program is and what benefits involvement in that has given you.
So I joined the honors program my freshman year. I applied before coming into Quinnipiac, so you guys start applying now. You can always apply into it as a sophomore or junior. One of my friends actually applied as a junior and still got their courses done. But basically, it's a program where you get to choose which classes you want to take at the honors level. And to me, it's not necessarily more work. It's more so that we, have a little saying, intellectual curiosity, where every single person in that class wants to learn. Every single person is very passionate about what they're learning. So the conversation is very stimulating. I just personally appreciate that a lot more. And we also have like little field trips we go on together. You get really close with the honors faculty, and they give you a lot more opportunities to grow.
So we have a question here from Jennifer. Jennifer asks, are there residential areas dedicated to honor students, nursing students, and other specific groups?
Yes,
Allie,
there
perfect
are.
question for you.
So I actually lived with honor students my freshman year in Ledges. They wanted me to live with other nursing majors. Not other nursing majors my freshman year, and I was not happy about that. But then I realized that when I lived with business majors, communication majors, and I believe another health science major, it actually really does broaden your horizons. If you're going to be a nursing major, you're going to be with nurses literally for 2 years. Like half your college experience is going to be with nurses. So you do appreciate a world around nursing. So I appreciated that experience for sure. And then I still was with the honors program, which was great.
And we have another question here. This one comes from Hannah. Hannah asks, can you talk about your faculty advisors, Ryan?
Oh yeah, so my faculty advisors have been absolutely stellar. I have enjoyed Dr. Burns and Dean Colhep throughout my experience here. Having them both from freshman year, they've really gotten to know me as a person. Anytime they see me around campus or anything, they're always saying hi. I actually play email tag with them over the breaks. I've done a couple of FaceTime calls with them as well. So they really do get to know you on an individual basis and an academic basis. They have that serious moment with you when they're talking about, okay, these are the classes you need to take, what any internships, career options are you looking at, what are the grad schools you're considering to apply to. They're with you 100% of the way.
Allie?
I would agree completely with that. I don't think I have anything to add to that. Always very supportive, always making sure you're on track. I have to be on track with my honors classes as well. I have to take, I believe, 8 honors classes to graduate with honors. So they're always keeping track of that. And just being there for you as a human being is really important.
So Allie, let's talk a little bit about your extracurricular activities and mainly the ones pertaining to your nursing major. What got you involved with those, and how do you see the connections between what you're learning in classes and what you're experiencing in those extracurriculars?
So I would say I was an EMT for 2 years in New Haven, which any of you can do if you get your EMT certification. American Medical Response is in New Haven, right, very close to Quinnipiac. That was one of the most amazing experiences of my life, because you are, like I said about you functioning as the nurse and having your own patients, you're functioning as the EMT, having your own patients and calling all the shots, and that really prepared me for nursing school. Like I said, I also rode with Lifestar for a day. If you're a nursing student or an EMT, you can email them and they'll usually take you on. Honors program, obviously love, always giving me opportunities to do whatever I want. And also I'm in a sorority again, Phi Beta. They're awesome as well. The thing I love about sororities and fraternities on Quinnipiac is we don't actually have on-campus housing, which to me is great because it's not your whole entire life. It's more like an extracurricular club, and you get to put what you want into it. So I can go to whatever I want, whatever I don't want. And to me, that's more manageable.
Well, Professor Kaplan, Ryan, and Allie, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come visit our campus. There are so many opportunities for you to see the Quinnipiac community for yourself. For more information on upcoming open houses, preview days, admitted students days, and more, visit qu.edu/studentslive. And don't miss your opportunity to win a customized Quinnipiac School of Nursing and School of Health Sciences Bobcat prize pack. Like this video by the end of the live show, and we'll select one lucky winner live at the end of the show. I'm joined now by Maria Mastropolo, a senior biomedical science major, Carl Iserman, a senior nursing major, and Professor Donna Diaz, a nursing lab coordinator.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having us.
So, Maria and Carl, let's move into the types of opportunities that you have been able to have here at Quinnipiac. Maria,
Yeah.
we'll start with you.
When I came to QU, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go into biomedical research or if I wanted to go to medical school. So I attended this seminar, and basically a bunch of professors came in and they told me about the research opportunities I had. So I ended up doing research my sophomore year, and I figured out that I actually would love to go to medical school and hopefully do research while I'm in medical school. So I actually had the opportunity to practice some lab skills and decide what I want to do once I graduate.
Carl?
Well, I heard how fantastic, as other people have spoken to, the faculty is here, and Professor Diaz here has been exemplifying everything, exceeding my expectations and more. Coming in, it's a lot to take in. You're at a new place, you're trying to find a new home, you're meeting new friends and stuff like that. And junior year especially, when in the nursing program you go from your general education credits to the professional component, it's a little overwhelming, and Professor Diaz was always there when I needed someone to talk to, someone to keep me on track and on schedule and give me a pep talk when I needed to. So she had really just been so phenomenal. She's a second mom. So if you guys have the pleasure of meeting her, I think you guys will feel very similar.
Don't forget, leave your questions for our guests in the comments section below as we move into a question from Janice. And Janice would like to know, how do you get to clinicals? Carl, you may be the perfect person to answer this question.
There we go. So it is a car. You can go anywhere from 20 minutes away to 50 minutes away, I would say. Nothing too bad. And for the experience that you're going to get with those clinicals, I mean, I've been in 7 different hospitals and had rotations in pediatrics, in obstetrics, in maternity, in psych, in med surg, everywhere. So it's a commitment to get there and make sure you get there safely and get there on time and early and ready to go for clinical, because that's going to be, clinical is what you make it. But it's worth it with the experience that you get at each of these clinicals. The distance is a non-factor, really.
Brittany asks, can you talk about placement tests?
Yes, so placement tests, like, when you are coming into college, you think that placement tests are really going to be a make or break, and they're not. What they really tell you is your abilities. And I think you take a math, a language, and an English placement test. And in the English placement test, when I was coming in, what you do is you write an essay and you kind of assess yourself whether you should go into a slower paced class or English 101. And so that's English. And then for math, it's a score. And based on the score, you go into pre-calc or calc. And then based on whatever language you want, either Spanish or French, I think, or there might be others, but those were the 2 I was familiar with, and I took French. And you can decide where you are based on those scores too. So they're a one-time thing, and they're not anything stressful or anything to be stressed about.
So Professor Diaz, Carl kind of went into how his junior year was kind of overwhelming for him. How do the faculty really help the students in their academic endeavors in the School of Nursing?
Well, I think that's a great question. We certainly try to help them with their academic endeavors by being present at all times when they need us. But I think not only with academic endeavors, but just with the challenges of being a nursing student, a junior, senior nursing student, when they get over to the North Haven campus and things start to really get into the nursing realm. I think we try to just be a presence, and we have, for instance, in the laboratory setting, we have open labs so they can come and practice their skills. And I speak for my colleagues, and I know Carl alluded to it, that we have a great group of faculty and staff in the School of Nursing that are there, number one, for the students.
And I can absolutely attest to that. It's a challenge, but with the support of the faculty, it's a blessing. It's been the toughest thing I've done, but the best thing I've ever done. It's going to push and challenge you, but in the best way possible, and you're doing what you love. And I mean, I think we can speak for both of us. If you're going into the health sciences or into nursing, you're doing this because you have a passion for it, and that's going to carry you farther than anything. Hold on to that passion, because that's going to get you through.
Yeah. I didn't know how passionate I was about medicine until I talked to the professors. And actually, one of my professors, Dr. Jeffrey Maital, when I had him for a course, he came up, I was the last one to finish the final, and he was like, do you want to do research? And I was like, actually, I would really love to. Can you tell me more about your lab? And he did, and I did research with him, and that kind of like let me know that if you ask them, they will help you. So the professors that I had here showed me that I really want to do this, and I can't see myself doing anything else besides what I'm going to be doing.
Don't forget, leave your questions in the comment section below. We've had several questions about residential life, so we'll go down the panel to Maria and Carl and ask what your experience has been living on our campuses. Maria or Carl, whichever one wants to start.
I'll start. Freshman year, I lived in Commons, and my first choice was Dana, because I wanted a double, because that's what's in all the movies, and that's what's always looks so fun. But I was open to it, obviously, because I was excited to go away to college, and I actually really loved it. I still have friends from where I lived, and I have friends from Dana and all the other residential halls. So as long as you're open to it, it is different. You are living with a bunch of like people your age. For me, it was girls my age, and the boys were on a different floor. And it was such a fun experience, and I've loved living here. I still live here, actually. I'm a senior, and I live on York Hill. So I love the res halls, and so glad I did it.
Great sunsets up here, right?
Oh, beautiful. My morning view every day is the beautiful York Hill view, which is the best. I love it. I'm gonna miss it so much.
Carl?
Well, I actually had the pleasure of being a resident assistant for 2 years here as well. So freshman year, I was a freshman as well and living in Commons. And then the next 2 years, I was in Ledges, and I actually had Joel. He was one of my 40 kids that I was overseeing, and had the pleasure of being with him for a year. And then I went back to Commons as the RA, and again was there. And it was a very unique and enjoyable experience to see the res halls from that side, to kind of have 40 kids that I saw as my own. And that's when people ask me off the job, I have 40 kids, so they're great. And just to kind of create that sense of community on the floor, try to help bring them together, get them seeing their friend groups form within the floor, and seeing them take on the extracurriculars like Joel's doing the show now. This is what he's passionate about.
It's like role reversal. You were my RA freshman year, and now you're on Quinnipiac
Comes
Live.
full circle.
It does.
Could I add one thing about the balance that I think we tried so much for the students to achieve? It's just not the academics. I have the privilege of being the faculty advisor to the Student Nurse Association, and when you see the energy that these kids have, even after they've been studying, to come out and to have a team for our Q-thon, our big dance marathon, which is coming up, to see them go and do birthday parties at shelters, to do all these other things that make them the whole persons, and that's what our nursing program hopes to achieve, because we're a very holistically based program. So there's a lot to offer students, not just from the academics, but within the residences, other wonderful, wonderful opportunities.
And what you had said about the holistic program, not only does the nursing program install that in us, I mean, you eat, sleep, live, and breathe holistic nursing, and that's so unique to us as Quinnipiac. And not only do you guys instill that in us and bring it out within us to treat our patients in a holistic manner, you can really feel that they want us to be holistic too, that they want us to take care of ourselves and make time for ourselves and have fun and do Q-thon, play intramurals, do dancing, do res life, do Q30.
Right, do Q30.
They make us proud, very proud.
So don't forget, leave your questions in the comment section below as we move into a question from Lori. Lori asks, what is it like to live away from home, and how have you adjusted?
Okay, so I have 2 sisters. My little sister and I are inseparable. And when I was leaving her, like, we both cried. It was awful. Me and my mom and my dad, we have such a close relationship. You find a family here. I made some of the best friends I will ever make in my entire life here. It's actually one of my best friend's birthdays today, so happy birthday. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And once I came home my summer of freshman year, I was so happy to be home and see my family, but I also miss my family at QU. And I think so many people here can say that. I've had the best experience with the people here, and you really do find your home away from home, and I am so upset to leave, but I'm so excited to see what they prepared me for the future.
Carl, anything to add?
I think that you nailed it right on the head. I mean, it's a family when you come here, and as much as I love my family, and it's always tough to say bye to them, it's always so exciting to come back and see friends and lifelong friends. And I mean, you grow a lot in college, and to have made these connections with friends that have your back through anything, through thick and thin, that you just know that these guys are going to be at my wedding someday. So
Hannah asks us, sorry about that, Carl.
No, you're fine.
Hannah asks us, how often do professors hold office hours?
Every single week. the professors are so available to you, you almost don't believe how available they are to you. Whenever you need them, they will be there. I email my professors whenever I have a question, and they will answer me within, if not within 24 hours, within 48 hours. They are so open to questions, and they want to help students so much that they will be there whenever you need them. But their office hours are scheduled every week at a certain time, and they are on all the syllabi, and they will be there, and if they're not, they will tell you. So
Professor Diaz, I have a very important question from Sean for you. How does Quinnipiac prepare students for medical school?
For medical school, well, I think I might want to defer, perhaps, because I'm in the School of Nursing. Although I think that would you be able to
I would
answer that,
absolutely
Maria?
love to take that. I would love to go to medical
Thank you,
school,
though.
and that is my dream, and that is what I've been working towards since sophomore year. And you really don't know how well your college is preparing you until you go into the entrance exam, which is the MCAT. And when I was preparing for the MCAT, I was blown away about how well Quinnipiac prepared me for what I was going to be taking. When I was studying, was reviewing, which I don't think a lot of people can say. I think a lot of people have been starting from scratch, and I was like flipping through chapters because I really didn't know what was going on. And I rave about QU for that, because I feel like there's so many people who have to really spend hours and hours and hours ingraining the information into their head before they even start practicing taking the test. And for me, I spent a couple weeks reviewing and then started practicing, which is, I think, the biggest hurdle you have to jump over for anyone interested in taking the MCAT. But so QU has killed it for me in that sense.
Well, Maria, Carl, and Professor Diaz, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
us, Joel.
Come visit our campus. There are so many opportunities for you to see the Quinnipiac community for yourself. For more information on upcoming open houses, preview days, admitted students days, and more, visit qu.edu/studentslive. And don't miss your opportunity to win a customized Quinnipiac School of Nursing and School of Health Sciences Bobcat prize pack. Like this video by the end of the live show, and one lucky winner will be announced live at the end of our show. And I'm joined now by Cody Brissett, an alum from the class of 2017, Andrew Terzak, an alum from the class of 2007, and Professor Lisa Barrett, a clinical associate professor for physician assistant studies. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So Andrew and Cody, let's go into what your experience was like here at Quinnipiac.
Well, yeah, I mean, given that I'm now currently trying to earn my third degree here, it speaks volumes to what the experience has been between coursework, between the professors, between the programs. It really speaks to itself. Additionally, the online component that Quinnipiac offers really is extremely important to have a work-life balance, to be able to still participate and grow your knowledge, your learning experiences, but at the same time still be able to work. So it's been wonderful.
Cody?
The one thing I really appreciated about everything here was just, it was so inviting. I never felt like I was a number. I had teachers that knew my name. I had the chefs that would cook my food every day that I could have a conversation with. And that was huge as far as making you feel like this is the place, this is home. And every single opportunity that this school gave me, as far as the small class sizes, the different opportunities to meet people, really developed me into a better person. I appreciate it.
Just recently graduated, how have your experiences at Quinnipiac so far helped you in your career?
So far, I am now working at Hartford Hospital in the surgical trauma ICU. It is my first job ever as a nurse. And this place really set me up to be there. When I came in, people were impressed by my knowledge of how to work with the equipment, how to work with my patients, and how to talk to the doctors, which is a huge part of really using that collaborative team and taking care of your patients.
Andrew?
I mean, for me, I think you kind of hit it nail on the head there, but for us, between the coursework, being able to participate in clinical rotations, taking an EMT course that Professor Barrett taught back as a sophomore, and being able to get patient care experience from becoming an EMT and working through and up to PA school. During PA school, making it mandatory that you be part of your state organization has not only led to me being a member now, but a former president, as well as 90% of our board is actually from Quinnipiac alumni. So Quinnipiac really sets you up to become successful.
So Cody, I know you said that you are currently working at Hartford Hospital, but Andrew, talk about what your current position is now and how did you ever see yourself in this position while you were a student at Quinnipiac?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, I've been fortunate enough now to be the director of operations at an orthopedic institute here in Connecticut, up at Mid-State Hospital. And I've been out practicing now for 10 years clinically, from starting as a physician assistant, still a physician assistant, but I also wanted to get to the administrative component of it. And Quinnipiac has given me the background as well as the ability now to earn my business degree to support what I'm currently doing, and it's been really phenomenal.
Professor Barrett, as a professor here at Quinnipiac, what is it like to be able to sit next to two success stories, alum from Quinnipiac, and hear about all their successes in the healthcare world?
Well, it makes us very proud, and I think that it's something that we strive to do. I think there's a huge mentorship in medicine, and I think that that's part of what is integral in our teaching, that we also mentor our students. I've taught Andy since he was a sophomore and all the way through to the graduate program, so we spent a good quality 5 or so years together, and you really get to know students and you see them mature and grow into health practitioners that eventually we're going to interface in the community. We still practice as I still practice as a physician assistant, and I presently, in my position in critical care, I work with 5 of my graduates. So it's very satisfying to, trust them, and we sign out to each other, or I should say I work with them, as they say, as their former professor, but it's kind of a seamless growth, and that's really kind of a unique opportunity here at Quinnipiac.
Cody, I'm sure you've done this, probably when you graduated in 2017, you look back and said, wow, how did I get here? How did I,
Right.
Look back on your time here at Quinnipiac. What really drew you to Quinnipiac and the nursing program when you first started out?
So first thing, as far as like nursing, there's so many different schools that have nursing. So you really want to look for the opportunities where they're going to give you that clinical experience, that they're going to give you a job at the end of it. And to me, Quinnipiac had those opportunities. People were getting hired directly out of school. I knew a bunch of people who had graduated from Quinnipiac who were working as nurses here in Connecticut. And honestly, they're working all over the place. I'm talking to people that I've graduated with that are working all over, even as far as in Texas and California.
How did the School of Nursing prepare you for the NCLEX exam? And for those of you who may not know, I don't really think I know, what is that exam?
So it's a national license exam that all nurses have to take in order for you to get your registered nursing license, which you cannot practice without. So this school does an amazing job at getting you prepared for it. You're constantly learning about how to take the test through your own testing that you get. So when we have a test for a class, it's set up very similar to the NCLEX, and it gets you in that mindset of, okay, this is how I'm going to have to do it for real. And then after that, we have 2 weeks at the end of school solely dedicated to NCLEX training, which definitely prepared me, and I was ready to take it right away when it was available to me.
Don't forget, leave your questions in the comment section below so they can be answered live on air by our guests as well as by our team of students and alumni behind the scenes. As we move into a question from Grace, and Grace asks, where do nursing students work for their clinicals?
Work as far as, so you can work on many different floors. We primarily on medical surgical floors, which is where you first start, gives you the good basis of everything. After that, you're going to be looking at your pediatric rotation. You're going to look at maternity rotations, psychology rotations, and then at the end of it, you are able to work towards like a capstone, where you kind of decide, okay, out of all of these different options, what do I like the most? What do I want to see if I like more? And that gives you an opportunity to really delve into it. And yeah, it gave me a really good broad understanding of what nursing is.
Well, Andrew, Cody, and Professor Barrett, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Sure.
No problem. Thank you.
Come visit our campuses. There are many opportunities for you to get to know the Quinnipiac community, including shadowing a current student. For more information on upcoming open houses, day visits, and admitted student stays, visit qu.edu/studentslive. And before we leave you, we have drawn a name from all the likes on the video, and our lucky winner of the Bobcat prize pack is Emily Brooke. Congratulations, Emily. A round of applause from the guests. There we go, Emily. Well, that's all the time we have for our show this evening. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you on one of our campuses soon.